Hello and welcome to Bengaluru Short International Film Festivals. And I'm Vinay here. I have with me Director of Oxygen. Hi, Rocky.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for the invitation. It's great to be
Thank
on
you
the
for
festival.
Thank you for sending in your entry. And I must say, I was pretty much, impressed with the whole story and the way the film was made.
Thank you. Yeah, we worked very hard on this. Violet is also there.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, I'm Violet.
So yeah. So I mean, what was the whole process like? When did you start thinking about the film, and how did the whole process and the journey of film from starting to end go?
Yeah, the concept is actually 12 years old. I created this concept in 2008, but in 3 years ago I met Violet on the internet, and I pitched a script to her and asked her to do a storyboard and a background images. And I really liked that, and together we developed this with our own money, this concept. So Violet, she animated for I think almost 2 years on her own. So big credits to her. And then we got last year we won a pitch competition at the Flanders at the Festival of Leuven for the last part, the sound and the music soundtrack. So that's a little bit the parkour we did.
Violet, do you want to add something to it? I mean, what was your initial reaction when you heard the script and the storyboard, and how did you?
Well, initially I was looking for some work, and it seemed like an interesting story, and I just thought, yeah, this is something to do for a while. But then when I got into it, it really sort of got out of hand, and we spent a lot more time and effort and money than actually we were planning to do. So, and in the end, so it started out as Rocky's idea, but in the end, it feels like it's mine too now. Like we both made it's our film.
Yes.
Right. And what were the difficulties that you faced, or how did you have any? Did you guys have any difference of opinions while developing the film, or how did you sort it out? And who was the, decision maker, or was there any sort of discussions that you had?
The problem is always you have not enough money. That's for every
that was our main
filmmaker.
problem.
That's the main problem. Is always the same. But we worked very good together. We left from 2 hours driving from each other, so we did a lot via Skype and Dropbox, and that it worked really well. We have some kind of same vision about the world and about movie making. And that's very important. So, what do you think about that, Violet?
Yeah, everything went very smoothly. I guess we agree on a lot of things, and so he has some ideas, and then I add something to it, and it's a very good combination.
Yeah.
Because
Was it always the plan to have her as an astronaut come doctor, so that or did you discuss about it, or the whole?
The script, yes. First we talked about the vision, black and white, and then the most difficult part was creating that new kind of village where the creatures called bopters. So that was, I think, that the most difficult in the process. How do we create those bopters, and especially in the end, we cannot discuss the end, but the emotional moment in the short film. How going to present that on the most powerful way? So that's what that was the most difficult part, I think, from the film.
Yeah, that was also the most interesting part, because I wanted it to be relatively quiet and subdued, so have the emotions be more internalized, but that would make the film it makes the film a bit slower and a bit There's not a lot of action, but I think that that makes it very powerful. And so sorting that out, that was a sort of an unconventional idea these days, because everything is action, 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 CGI.
Correct.
We just wanted to keep it simple and basic, and so
Yes.
that wasn't just because money. That was also actually a conscious choice. We wanted to be stylized and not too full of action and wildness.
Correct. And when did you guys decide on the duration of the film? Was it during your storyboard days, or while editing, or while creating animations, or when was the time fixed for it to be at whatever the duration that you ended up? When did you decide on that?
Well, we didn't really. It was supposed to be 6 minutes, and then it turned, while we were in the process of developing it, it turned into about 10, which is for live action, that's not a problem. But for animation, that means hundreds of more frames to draw. So, and it also makes it harder to edit, because you've put so much work into it, and then you have to cut bits out. So that was
Right.
also tricky. But yeah.
And I mean, your film generally talks about climate change. How soon, or what do you think about the way climate is changing? And due to Corona, the day may not be far when you're carrying your personalized oxygen cylinders and everyone's going around wearing them, just like how we do with masks now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on climate change, and your message to people how you should stop climate change? Or because last time none of us thought we would be wearing masks and going out, maintaining social distancing and sanitizing hands everywhere, and the whole all come to a standstill now due to Corona. So
yeah, that's true. It's a little bit strange, but the film is actually very relevant to these days now. So So, and this is adult animation. So we wanted to talk about a serious story, science fiction story, and it goes about how far will people go to survive. So yeah, we need to think about that. So what if there's a climate change, or there is a new crisis in economic collapse? How will people react to that? So that's a very interesting question to think about.
Yeah, and that is one of the things we sort of disagree about a little bit. Not really disagree, but my idea is much more how far are you willing so the idea of the film is how far are you willing to go, and I'm more leaning towards, yes, you're gonna cross a line, but that's really you shouldn't do that. And Rocky is more sort of fatalistic, as in, yes, so this is what's going to happen. So, and I would like the film to be, I don't know, make people question that. On which side are you on? Will you cross the line? Will you not cross the line? How far will you go?
Yeah.
Because there's always been talk about, we carrying personal oxygen cylinders because the way pollution and the ozone level is coming down. And when I saw the film, I was like, okay, the film's already here. It was just in the news article.
Yeah.
And then I see it and I was like, we should do something about this climate change, maybe plant trees and reduce from your things, ACs and all those things. So, I mean, was there any other concept that you guys wanted to do before oxygen, or did you just fixate on oxygen first and then how did the whole thing go? Do you have any other projects that you're currently working on?
Yes, our cooperation with Oxygen went really well. So now we are making some developments for a new short film. It's about cancer, but it's in early stages. So we cannot talk about that too much. But that's going to be our next project. And also what we want to do is, so we want to scale Oxygen. So we want to make a feature film and a TV series of it, because we think this is very, very scalable. So if there are producers listening to the podcast, they can always contact us.
I mean, since you said the next film has something to do with cancer, cancer. I mean, I see a pattern there. Cancer is also a very topic that not many people are aware of. So, is this a conscious effort to make sure you educate people with your film, or it's just one of those things that it's a happy coincidence that first was about change and now you're doing something about cancer and it's.
What I my stories they all play in an alternative universe. So also this concept is going to be so we have a team and we create an alternative universe, and so that gives us the opportunity to be very creative and very visual, and so that's the way my mind actually works.
Then also another way in which it sort of the idea is connected is because in both of them the world changes and it falls apart, and one of them is more from an individual standpoint and the other one's more from a society standpoint, but it's both choices you make as a person and how do they affect the world around you.
Yeah.
So, was it always your decision to make short films, or do you also prefer doing feature films if the script is right, or are you happy with short films as of now, both of you?
I prefer short films because I'm an animator, and then I have the most control. Animators tend to be a bit they want to do everything themselves, and that's what I like about short films. It's a short project. You can just have control over everything, and also I also like it because I like telling short stories. I don't to get to the point where you watch something, there's a little bit of you've seen it more like a painting. You look at it and you get an impression, and that's it. And with a feature film, that's different. I don't know about Rocky.
Yeah, I would like to do both, short film, but also long players and TV series. So yeah, let's see how it plays out in the future. So yeah, I'm open for every opportunity.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Yeah.
So tell us something about the technology that you've used to create animations. What was the technology used, and how easy was it? And
I just try to keep it as simple as possible because I used Adobe Animate for this project, which wasn't in retrospect the best thing to do, but it was what I had available, and so that's what I did.
nice. Before Oxygen, what were your ideas about climate change, and how did it change? Going through with the way did you make sure that you put across the word that you wanted to do it with the film, or is there anything you would wanted to add?
Not particularly. I'm always watching the world news about climate change, but also other problems. So yeah, I think making this kind of stories they are very very important for people. So yeah, that's how you make them.
We have Bimal with us. Hi, Bimal. Welcome.
Hi.
We just
Hi.
we have the makers of Oxygen with us, joining with us. We're just discussing about the film and how the film talks about climate change. So I was just asking them, what are their thoughts on climate change and how did they, come up with the ideas? So,
Yeah,
Bimal,
I
just,
saw your film. I mean, it's really nice. I mean, it's really good. Your graphic work and everything is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Bimal, can you just talk about the process of RADHA, the whole film and the bonds that you have shown in the film? Can you just take us through the whole process of the film and explain?
Okay, process as in we started off, doing sketches first. So just to see how the character is coming up and the background and the whole treatment. But finally, During the production stage, we thought maybe we can we take use of 3D softwares, which will help me to make the process a little faster instead of doing frame by frame hand-drawn animation. So,
Okay.
and also, yeah, people who are not trained in hand-drawn animation, they can also get involved into the process. So,
Okay.
so finally, we end up with 3D to D mix of treatment, and
Nice.
yeah. So, and apart from that, the story process we have developed, like we have given a lot of time, because this character I developed in my college days, so it was a part of our assignment. So, and finally, when we started thinking of doing a short film on our own, so maybe why not, it's a developed character, so we'll build up the story around the character, and maybe get a better output. So
Correct. I was talking to a couple of other filmmakers over the course of this festival. They said, especially the difficulty in animation films is adding voiceovers to it and making sure that, the lip actually sync to whatever the dialogues are. So, what are your thoughts on how easy or how difficult is it to make animations with voice? You know?
see, lip sync is not a difficult task. I mean, in terms of producing animation, you just have to sync the lip with vowels and other letters. But why you're using the dialogue, that is more important. Is it required or not?
Okay.
So in our film, actually, it's all about weight of an elderly person. She's waiting
Correct.
for her grandson, and there is no words required because she's alone, and she's just waiting for him to come back, maybe. So it was not require any dialogue. It was just a feeling. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, in Oxygen there was also no dialogue, so we.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I just wanted to ask why was the
Yeah,
no
not
dialogue for
not because it's difficult to do lip syncing. It's you would have to find a good actor who's willing to work for free. That's why we chose not to do
That
it.
is also.
budget constraints? So, Bimal, what are your future things? What are you working on right now? And
Uh, Future thing, as in my personal projects. Yeah, we have developed couple of ideas during this film,
okay,
which we stopped, and maybe we are thinking of taking this forward. So we are developing those ideas. Maybe later on, some of one of them. Maybe, mhm.
just wanted to ask this question with all these, green mats, green films from Marvel, DC, and all those things. What do you think is there in future for animation films? Are the Disney's and all those things? Do you think there's going to be much more market that's going to increase, or people are still going to go with VFX and all those, the hi-fi green mat shootings?
Yeah.
I personally hope people will get bored with it because they're not telling any. It just looks very good, but there's no story in it. So I don't know
Correct.
how long can you keep that up? It looks pretty, but so I don't know.
Yeah. And I also think that nowadays the films in the East are getting much better than in the West. I see a lot of arthouse movies from the East, and they are very, very good. So yes, I believe that films in the East will be in the future there's much more potential than the Marvel stories.
Because growing up, I used to watch all the cartoons of Disney and all. Nowadays, the kids they're all more film series, the film MCU films, the characters
Yeah,
that
we
come.
have a lot of stories. I mean, within India, I mean, we have all regional stories are so good. And if you see, every state has their own way of telling stories and own way
I
of,
agree.
it has a different folk art, a
Mhm.
graphic style, if you say. I mean, these are traditional art, but when you
Right.
take them as a medium, they itself
Mhm.
talk about a lot of things. So, yeah.
Is so right now it's everything is new, computers, graphics. You can do things very easily with not a lot of money, and eventually you're going to have to start thinking about your story, and you can use it as a tool instead of as an end to, as an end product. So I'm hoping people will get used to it, and then they can tell the stories. They can put all the amazing visuals, but that will not be the end goal. The end goal will be for it to look at it, for it to the story to be as good as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have watched KAPAEMAHU that has been selected for our festival because it's a wonderful story and it's about the Waikiki beach and all those history that relates to the four stones that are placed on the beach of Hawaii. Most of us didn't know the story and we didn't even know that that whole story existed until the film came out. So as Bimal says, we should probably look into our own traditions and then make it into a story and then present it to the world instead of creating something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but you but everyone can create now. Everyone can you can do it on your phone. You can all the special effects you want. You can. It's not that hard anymore. So you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I just want to ask this. I always wanted to ask an animator: is it always necessary to be a good artist? Pencil sketch artist, or you can learn that as you can become an animator, or is that a prerequisite? You got to draw nice, proper pictures and all those things. Because I am very bad in drawing, so if I want to become an animator right now, are there any courses that I can take and make sure my drawing, which is about 30%, and then make sure I enhance it into a big thing? What do you want to tell? Not that good in drawing, but then
See,
they want to become an animator.
for me, you don't need to learn. You don't have to be a drawing expert for animation. You just have to move things
Okay.
around within your frame. So,
Hmm.
because
Yeah, if you want to do Disney style animation, which I kind of want to do, it's very important that you're good at drawing. And I don't, I feel like I need to practice a lot more to become really good at drawing. But that's because of what I want to do, and it's
Mm-hmm.
and but for animation, you can it doesn't really matter because it's you can move anything any way you want, and the story is more important.
Yes, true. Yeah.
So I still have hope of becoming an animator. I can
Uh,
probably maybe learn from you guys. And
Absolutely.
so, when did you guys start? The whole journey of being an animator, or do you have it in your? Because in India, let me be honest. I mean, Bimal might agree. It's only on the advanced stages where we get taught about animations. How is it in your part of the world? And Bimal, what do you suggest? The government should make about being good towards animators and all those things, subjects of creativity.
Well,
uh,
I mm,
yeah,
I
please,
started.
please.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I started in the early '90s as an animator, and everything was still filmed then, and I had to draw everything on paper, and I really enjoyed that. So, and now everything's on computers. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
Bimal. I mean,
I don't know. It's there's the now you can anyone can animate now. I mean, if they want to. And I often I think if I was a child and I had this iPhone or whatever this phone, then I could then that's what I would have been doing. I was just drawing on little flip books all day long. So it,
Bimal, you
Yeah,
want to add?
for see, animation is a new medium to us. I mean, comparatively, I mean, if you compare to West, they have developed so many things, so many language through their graphic work, and their way of visualizing things. So they have very concrete language already established. So compared to that, India is very new to this medium. So we are developing our way of storytelling, our way of drawing, but still, yeah, we have long way to go. And yeah, I mean, in small scale, we are still developing. I mean, small studios are developing a lot of good work, introducing good animation. Government is also supporting nowadays. I mean, there are categories in government festivals where you can submit your animation films, which was not there earlier. So,
Yeah, I
so it's
mean, it's a
definitely we are still uh, uh, yeah moving towards a better scenario.
bit, hopefully. And just wanted to check with you guys. Do you guys remember the first animation that you created? What was it? And do you still sketch in the free time? Not about film, just to unwind yourself.
I sketch and draw every day. It's basically what I like doing, and so I'm drawing all the time. And
Cool.
my first animation I made, it was in, I don't know. My first animations were in art school, and I just. But when I was a child, I would just constantly be making flip books and things, and that's basically what I did.
Nice. Do you remember what was your first brush with animation or even
Uh,
small?
See, I'm a visual, I mean, what do you say, a fine art graduate. So I used to
No.
draw from my childhood, but I did my animation from NID, National Institute of Design. So
Okay.
there I did my first flip book drawing, where I can see my drawings are moving, and when you're flipping your pages, and you can see your drawings are moving, and the
Mm-hmm.
characters are. So it's really excited me, and just continue doing that.
Yes, that is really exciting. I sometimes teach children, and so one thing I do is I make them bring some of their toys, and they all have phones or digital cameras, and I tell them, okay, you move the thing and click it, and then you put it into the computer, and then once they put it in and it's moving, and I add sound effects, they're always like, whoa! They're so happy that at first it was sitting still and now it's moving. And that's also a thing about animation. All of a sudden it's alive.
Yeah. Rocky, when did you decide to be a filmmaker? Was it always your dream growing up, or did you by chance?
Yeah, I started late with film. I have an education in IT, but it was not my kind of thing because I'm a creative guy. So yeah, 10 years ago I started to switch. So I did a lot of screenwriting courses. I did a lot of film sets. So and auction, yeah, is my very first project with Violet. So yeah, there are a lot of projects in my mind and in my drawer, but this is the first step.
Nice, nice. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for being here. All the best for the films, and I hope you come back to Bengaluru International Short Film Festival with many more entries over the years.
Yeah.
And all of you just stay safe and weekend.
Thank you very much, and good luck with the festival.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Vinay.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. So that was the filmmakers of animation category that were present today. It was wonderful talking to them. As I say always, visit bisf.n, that is bisff.n, register yourself and watch all the amazing short films that are there. And also kindly donate. That helps a filmmaker, and also a small part of it will go to Vidyaniketan, an NGO which is working with Corona warriors. Stay safe, happy weekend, and good night. Goodbye.